It's over. I think it's actually over. I think our time is done. You may, just by looking around, you can tell what the video is, okay? We're talking about Burnley here. You may be like, why would I care? I'm a Burnley fan, so I want to talk about it, basically. Cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Go down to u7buy.com. Link is down below in the description. And make sure to use code Vizeh at checkout for 5% off. Burnley, I think this is the season we're going down. And the entire world will rejoice in Burnley going down, which is... It's sad, because I think the Premier League, it needs a team like a Burnley, a team that kind of people love to hate in a way, or just hate. I know that most of you guys want us to go down. I know most of you want us to get relegated, and honestly, I don't really blame you, okay? I'm not going to pretend that we're some amazing team that people love. Yes, there is an element of an underdog story, an element of, a team fighting, against the odds in a sense. The fact we've stayed in the league for 6 years, never mind qualifying for the Europa League and being only knocked out by Olympiacos, who spends most times far in Europa League or Champions League. The fact we've been facing was a fucking joke to this day. I want to do a video talking about the fact that I think that we will go down and hopefully jinx it and we stay up. That's really the aim for this video, really. But people do ask me for my opinions, and of course I don't do any Burnley vlogs because I live in Poland. Of course, if you don't know me, if you're new to the channel in the last year or two, basically my channel was it wasn't made, but like it was a part of my channel that I had the Burnley vlogs. Of course, if you can't tell, I'm a Burnley fan and I went to games, season ticket holder since 2007, 2006. And when I hit the age of 15, 16, I was actually able to get a job, which I worked at Mackey's for 2 years, worked my arse off, so get some money to actually go home and away for Burnley games, back in the Championship, back in the 15-16 season, and since 15-16 up until the COVID pandemic back in 1920. I would say I missed no less than 5 Burnley games across the entire season. That's including league games, cup games, and even goddamn friendly games. During the entire time, I was also at uni in Newcastle, and I was taking buses at 4:30 in the morning every single week for home all the way, to take a mega bus, which cost me like 4 or 5 quid, and I'd rather do that than pay 50, 60 quid for a train. So every single weekend, I went from 4:30 in the morning with no sleep just to go watch Burnley beat fucking Bournemouth. So I live for my club, and of course, since I've come to Poland, I've gone to 1 or 2 Burnley games in the last year or two, but of course, I've got a house being built, I've got a daughter on the way. I couldn't just yeet to a different country because I've got some responsibilities over it, you know what I mean? So I've not had the opportunity to actually talk about Burnley. So if you don't care, then you can leave now. If you actually are intrigued about anything about what the fuck's happening at Burnley and why are we now suddenly so bad, then feel free and stay. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is this fucking guy right here. Maxwell Cornet is literally one of the strangest players I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's mainly because he's too good for Burnley. How we got Cornet at Burnley, I'll never know. And the thing is, it's not like he has like a bunch of chances a game. He has like 1 or 2 opportunities to actually shoot each game because we barely give him any fucking actual help up front, and he just scores. Like every time. Look at the goals that he scored. I beg you, please look at every goal that he scored so far this year. Every single goal is a banger over there in a header against Southampton. Each one's a volley or a half volley from 30 yards out or a free kick from 30 yards out. It is incredible how dumb this guy is at my football club. And the fact we can go down with one of the best players I've seen play for Burnley is actually disgraceful. Burnley's been in the Premier League for 6 years before Maxwell Cornet joined, and now it seems like we're so heavily reliant on him, it's embarrassing. We did stay up for 5, 6 years, qualified for Europe, having also a 10th place finish in top half as well. We can stay up and we can do well without Maxwell Cornet. Our team is essentially the exact same team that we've had back in the 17-18 season. We have the exact same defense and the exact same midfield. We have the same team for the last 4 or 5 years. The fact we've even stayed in the league with the same team for 4 or 5 years is a credit in itself. But of course, people don't care because we don't really play the best football. And I think that's a bit unfair because, yes, we don't at times, but sometimes we do, which is the most annoying thing because recently, this year, statistically, factually, we are the best pressing team in Premier League. We have won the ball in the opponent's third more times than anyone in the league. We've dispossessed the opponent in the final third. That means we have a high line, we press them high, and we dispossess the ball from them often. Is it because we're actually good, or because they are surprised that Burnley are high pressing them? Which, if you saw the game with Burnley v United at Old Trafford, we played really well. We actually played better than Manchester United in my opinion. They had a moment or two, which they had a bit of quality. But if I see it from a neutral point of view, I'm seeing one team that has a well-known, obvious style of play, an obvious route to how to get the ball and how to play football. And I'm seeing United who's just kind of like winging it and just kind of hoping for the best. They played more hoofball than us at times. They just hit it up to Ronaldo, and even he still missed until it was a tapping, of course. The worst part about this year is the fact that I actually don't think we've played that bad. I think we've just had a moment of madness once or twice a game, which just discredits the entire 80 minutes of the game. We played completely fine, we actually played decent at times, and then we just have this mistake in us, which is the one thing that Burnley haven't done in the last 5 years. Suddenly, we're having a mistake or two each game. Me, against the Leeds, we had 5 mistakes in like a span of 5-10 minutes in the first half. Then we do pass the ball, and then we do pass it well, and then it's like, the was that for the last 80 minutes? Supporting Burnley is, you know, you can imagine it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but, you know, it could be much worse. Yo, we are still in Premier League, we are still a Premier League team, and now we still have a chance to stay up. This is the current Premier League table, and you can see that we are 2 points away from safety from Watford, but we do have a game in hand, which is actually against Watford, in fact, which is a massive game. This is the issue, though. It's above that. It's Leeds, Everton, Southampton, which are 8 points ahead from us and 10 points ahead of us. So basically, already, halfway through the year, it's basically Watford, Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich, okay? Which sounds like, you know, it could be anyone's game. Watford can beat anyone, but right now they're in awful form. Right now we are, again, in awful form. Norwich, awful form. Newcastle, awful form. There's one issue. We are kind of up against the richest club to ever exist in world football history, in Newcastle, who could just buy out about 100, 200 million of players in the window. So we're fucked. Literally, if Newcastle didn't actually get bought out, then I think we have a chance to stay up. But we are literally, it's now between one team out of 4 to stay up this year. It's between Watford, Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich. I guarantee it. Leeds aren't going down. Everton are definitely not going down. Southampton aren't. Brentford aren't. I doubt they will. So it's really just 1 of 4 that can stay up. And in a normal circumstance, I still think we can stay up. However, we are up against the richest team in world football history. Of course, Newcastle just buy themselves out of this. And I can't really blame them because I wish that we could do that, but we can't. So basically, God bless our souls, basically. And we deserve it. We've had so many chances to get a result, and we just keep on bottling it. We went, I think in our first 8 games, we went 1-0 up, like in almost all of them. And then we always bottled it. Brighton, first game of the year, 1-0 up into the 70th minute. Then we lost the game 2-1. Then Leeds are home, 1-0 up, and then we conceded in the 80th minute or something. Everton away, went 1-0 up, and then it after just being an absolute mess. Leicester away, we went 1-0 up, then we went 2-1 up, and then we still it. And then we had Norwich, which we should have beat, and we were all for that game. This is the thing, we play well against teams that we shouldn't really beat, and we get a result maybe. You know, like Chelsea away, we went 1-1, and then Leicester 2-2, but then Norwich, we're City 2-0. Good result from us. Southampton, we went 1-0 up, and we still it. We beat Brentford, and then I thought, okay, at this moment, the season is on. Then we had Chelsea, draw against them. Then we had Palace. We scored 3 goals at home. We still drew. Like, this is the game that we always get 3 points. If you score 3 goals at home, for Burnley, we rarely ever concede 3, and we still couldn't do that. Next game, Wolves got a draw, I guess, and then we had a pathetic performance at Newcastle. I was there for that game. West Ham draw, and then, like, it's so many draws, man, but it's just not good enough, man, is it? I can name you 4 or 5 results that I think we were more worthy to get more points than what we actually did, but we just didn't because we always have a mistake in us now, which is so unlike us. So in my opinion, we're like 90% going down. So what happens with Burnley if we go down? You know what, man? I actually kind of, in a weird way, I'm kind of looking forward to it in terms of having a bit of a rebuild, having something new, a different team. I'm kind of looking forward to it. More so players are aging. If Sean Dyche stays, would Sean Dyche want to stay with Burnley again and go through it all over again, back down the Championship and trying to go up again? If Sean Dyche stays, I think we go back up straight away, because the thing is, how many of our players will people want? Not many. You know, Cornet would definitely go because it'd be an absolute disgrace if he steps 1 foot in the Championship. Nick Pope will likely go. Tarkowski's going. Dwight McNeil would probably go, I think. But he's not been that amazing in the last 12 months. And then maybe Chris Wood. But again, he's not been great in the last 12 months. So it's like most of our players, people won't even really want. So I can imagine down in the Championship, we may have still quite a similar Nathan Collins' rate. Vizeh, I hope he stays because he'll help Championship in my opinion. Connor Roberts, fresh legs at right back. So I'm kind of hoping for the best here, that maybe, you know, going down, it may be a good thing for us. Maybe not. I don't know. I think we'll do good in Championship if we do go down. Tell me down below, what's your thoughts about Burnley? For me, our main problem is the fact that I think it's mental fatigue. I think it's mental and physical fatigue. When you play the same kind of style, you play the same kind of thing for 5 years, there's not really much change in Burnley for the last 4 or 5 years. Even subconsciously as a player, you're probably not going to be as interested as what you would be. You know, we've got 1 win. Like, statistically, we are the worst team in England. Like, points per game, as the last 12 months, we are the worst. We've got the least points to any team in the entire thing. I think we've got 6 wins, maybe 7, in the last 12 months, in the league anyway. So, you know, Burnley are technically, you know, points per game, the worst team in the entirety of the 92, which is awful. But Sean Dyche won't have any pressure. I don't think he should have any pressure, because let's be real, who the is going to replace him? Who would possibly come to Burnley and do a better job than Sean Dyche right now? I don't think anyone could possibly do that. Especially definitely not midway through a year. If Sean Dyche leaves Burnley, it's because he leaves Burnley, not because he gets sacked. There's no way in hell he'll get sacked. He will not get sacked. If Sean Dyche leaves, it'll be on his own accord, and I don't know where we'll go for that, but I just don't know, man. My head's spinning, because if Sean Dyche leaves, then that could be the end of it for Burnley, because, like, Sean Dyche is, like, similar to a Sir Alex Ferguson of the impact he has in the club. I mean, you may say that's something dumb, but honest to God, like, it could be a 2, 3, 4 year rebuild job, because he's so important to every aspect of the football club. Tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think Burnley going down? Are you happy if Burnley goes down? I'm still going to keep a little bit of hope, but I think it'll just be more painful for me. Am I upset? Not really. These guys are giving me the best years of my life, and, you know, I know that, you know, realistically as a Burnley fan, you know, there's not much we can really do financially and all that kind of stuff. You know, we're still massively lacking, and, you know, it was kind of always going to be an inevitability. So I'm going to hope that I've massively jinxed ourselves and we actually do stay up, but hopefully I'll come back to this video and I'll laugh at me. So what that happen? I don't know. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Wish me luck.